So we continue our Umineko with Rosa and Maria here, and last time Kinzo went absolutely bonkers on Cross, and it was quite funny. Forcefully opening the door with a clock, Rosa flew in with Maria.
Genji さんか誰かいない？誰でもいいの。バスタオルを持ってきて。
Ooh, this after there was already a full-blown typhoon outside. It was starting to pour down hard. Even though she'd had an umbrella, Maria had been in a rose garden amidst all that wind and rain the whole time. She had grown ice cold. Maria had gotten into a minor fight with Rosa in the rose garden and had been told to stay there. She had done as she was told and had continued to wait in that spot even though rain was pouring down. Rosa certainly had gotten a little emotional and angry. Maria's stubborn whim was probably more to blame. Cousins, who had seen that exchange, were relieved to see that the mother and child were close to each other again. Rosa scrubbed Maria's head with a towel. She seemed to overcome that with worry that Maria had caught a cold. Maria herself was nonchalant.
大丈夫？寒気とかしない？やっぱり一度戻って着替えさせた方がいいかしら。
全然平気。それよりお腹空いたから着替えよりご飯がいい。
大丈夫そうだぜ、ローザおばさん。こんだけ元気ならきっと大丈夫だよ。
傘があって本当に良かったよ。ひょっとしたらずぶ濡れかもしれないと思ってたからね。傘を持ってたのは不幸中の幸いだったよ。
でもよマリア、いくら傘があってもこんな大雨になったらちゃんと雨宿りしなきゃダメだぜ。女の子は体を冷やしちゃ絶対にいけない。
いいのよジェシカちゃん。ママがそこにずっといなさいと言ったのが悪いの。本当にごめんね。本当にごめんね。
So complicated. The relationship between Maria and Rosa.
マリアいい子。ママの言う通りにしてたからいい子。
Oh my
寒くて
god.
もずっといた。ママが来るまでずっといた。
Oh my god.
マリアは本当にいい子よ。ママの言いつけをちゃんと守ったわね。本当に偉いわ。でも次からはママの言いつけであっても、あんな大雨になったらちゃんと雨宿りをするのよ。いいわね。ママと約束よ。
ママと約束。
As Rosa gently held Maria, they joined their pinkies together and promised. Butler and the others realized that by touching her mother's pinky, the warmth had started to return to Maria's body.
カノン君、タオルをありがとう。助かったわ。
それでは失礼いたします。
Scanning about with a blank expression as though he'd done nothing to require gratitude, he left the parlor.
さあ、もうお夕飯よ。みんなも行きましょう。偉いマリアには、後でママの分のデザートも分けてあげるわ。
This is so complicated. Oh man.
デザートもらえる。ママ大好き。ママ大好き。
こらマリア、はしゃがないの。ママもマリアが大好きよ。マリア大好き。マリア大好き。
マリアもママ大好き。ママ大好き。
Oh my god. Rosa and Maria looked really close. Even the cousins who watched started to feel a long-forgotten warmth fill up their chests.
このくらいの年頃が親と一番仲がいいのかもしれねえな。
うちはそうでもなかったぜ。母さんとかいっつも勉強勉強とうるさかったな。
子供を愛していればこそだよ。親の愛は優しさや甘やかしだけじゃないんだよ。僕の母さんも厳しかったけど、僕を大事に思ってくれたからこそだって今ならわかるよ。
ママ大好き。ママ大好き。
マリア大好き。マリア大好き。さあ食事に行きましょう。お手手つないで仲良くね。
お手手つないで仲良く。
Until the next time you blow your gasket out of proportion and start hitting Maria, huh?
ママと
そうよ。
It's like, oh man, this is so bad.
ママとマリアは仲良しよ。
It seems all fine and very wholesome, this whole scene, but you need to realize that
いつまでもずーっとね。
this is like a rare moment in a very abusive relationship.
愛してるわ。マリア。
This happens all the time in real life as well. Bouts of intense parental love followed by very cruel moments.
なんだよ突然。どうした？
Sudden sound had come to the teacup Gretel had been holding, which had fallen and smashed.
ごめんなさい。ぼんやりしてたわ。
Oh man.
落としちゃってごめんなさい。
Oh, I see. The cup on the floor has smashed to pieces. Would it really have been made such a sound as smashed to pieces just by being dropped from that height? Even someone as thick-headed as Battler could realize that she was in a bad mood over something. But he couldn't understand why she had suddenly grown so displeased. Because she's seeing Maria again. And she doesn't like what she's seeing. When she made to bend over and pick up the fragments of the cup, Ronovia appeared out of nowhere and stopped her.
お怪我をなさいますよ。お片付けは私どもにお任せを。
Oh, it's the
紅茶の
gentleman,
代わり
huh?
をお持ちしましょうか。
いらないわ。どうも悪魔の紅茶は口に合わないみたい。
Ooh, man.
ほう、ロノウェの紅茶でも口に合わぬものがおったとは。そなたの肥えた舌には敬意を表するぞ。
退屈してきたんで、ちょっと席を外すわ。
退屈？おいおい、いよいよこれからだろうが。多分この時点でマリアはまた傘と手紙をベアトリーチから受け取ってるって言い出すんだぜ。ここからが重要だってのに。
失礼するわ。ごめんなさいね。後片付けをお願い。
She doesn't like when Maria is concerned.
お任せを。
She doesn't like when she sees Maria. Without saying anything else, Gretel disappeared of her own accord. Maybe she read the journal and found out that later on the abuse started, I think. Without saying anything else, Gretel disappeared of her own accord. Her form literally melted and disappeared into thin air. There was definitely a displeased expression on her face. Neither the battler nor Ronove, of course, nor not Beatrice either. Could understand why her mood had so suddenly worsened. All that remained was the scent of the black tea she had spilled. I don't like it. Not to be more blunt, it disgusts me.
なんでエンジェはイラついてるの？
Oh my god, so confused.
なんでって決まってるでしょ。
マリアにはわからないよ。
Even Maria and Ange, with a blank expression on her face, irritated me. As I held my hands palms up in the empty air from out of nowhere, a single book landed on them. It was Maria and Ange's diary. Even though I didn't turn the pages were flipped through despite there being no wind. Oh, and the door to Maria and Ange's world opened.
どうしてエンジェはマリアが幸せじゃないと思うの？
Because she read something
客観
bad.
的に判断してよ。
客観的にエンジェの主観でだね。
真実は私にとってのものとマリアお姉ちゃんにとってのものとでは異なると言いたいの？
真実は観測者によって形を変えるよ。そして未来の観測者が常にその形状を上書きする。
Yeah, it depends on the observer, but that doesn't mean that all truths are truths.
エンジェはマリアの幸せをどうしたいの？
Oh man. Ah, Maria, this is so bad, Maria. Come on. The pages of the diary were flipped through at greater and greater speeds. Then a brilliant light poured out from the depths of the diary, swallowing everything up and painting all over everything with white. She's trying to justify her abusive home. And this happens a lot.
ごめんねマリア。ママね、 緊急に片付けなきゃならない仕事が山積みで、ちょっと会社に缶詰にならなきゃならないの。多分あさっての深夜まで家に帰れないわ。
おお、じゃあ日曜日の一緒に映画を見に行く約束は？
映画？
Judging by Rosa's tone, she'd clearly forgotten that promise. Maria's response to that wasn't an apology for asking. I'm sorry. Maria apologized for troubling her mother by asking that question.
マリア、お留守番してる。ちゃんとお行儀よく待ってる。毎日お風呂に入って新しい肌着にするよ。お金の場所も分かってる。毎日違うお店に行くようにする。あんまり遅い時間に出かけないようにする。おまわりさんに聞かれたらママのお使いですって言うようにする。ちゃんとママに言われた通りに言うようにする。
そうね、ちゃんといい子にしてるのよ。そしたらお土産を買ってきてあげるわ。いい？
Bouts of happy moments between abusive and neglectful home life.
夜は9時までに寝るのよ。ママが帰ってこないなんて先生にも大人にも言っちゃダメよ。いいわね。
When your abuser turns around and actually treats you like... Oh man, this happens so much in real life and it's scary.
だからママ、お仕事頑張ってね。頑張ってお仕事を終わらせて少しでも早く帰ってきてね。マリア、もう夜中に泣いて近所の人に迷惑なんかかけたりしないから。だから早く帰ってきてね。
じゃ、忙しいので切るわよ。いい子にして待ってるのよ。余計なことはしちゃダメよ。じゃあね。
Click. With a tone of finality in her voice, Rosa hung up the phone without waiting for Maria's answer. Maria politely sat down on the receiver and returned to the sofa. There sat that stuffed animal Sakutaro, which was she watching TV until a second ago. Sakutaro was holding the remote control to the TV. The TV had been turned off because of the phone call. He looked like he was telling her to push the switch because he wanted to watch TV again quickly.
サク太郎、テレビ見たい？おりゅ？マリアはもう見たくないの？芸人チーム全問正解したら逆転かもしれない。うりゅ？
That's why she became addicted to TV.
もうテレビいいや。
Because she gets to be alone every day in her home. Again, Mama was busy with her work and didn't come home. Mama works so much of the time that she doesn't come home until late. Because she had dates or something, she always comes home after drinking a lot of alcohol, even though she's not good at drinking. And with a pale face, she will go straight to the shower and then to bed. And because she has overtime, even on the weekends or something, she said that she has to spend the night there and almost never comes home. Recently, she started saying something about how she's got a big job she's working on. So this sort of thing happens a lot. Pictures I did my best on during drawing time were laughed at by everyone. But even so, I wanted to show them just to Mama, and once again, she won't be able to look at them for me. And I couldn't talk about the time everyone pushed the job of cleaning up to me. But I did my best by myself and was praised by the teacher. Or the time I went shopping and the man at the shop said I was such a good kid and he gave me a free can of coffee. And that was the time I wanted to encourage Mama because she worked so hard on her job and hit a card on her pillow.
他にもいっぱいお話ししたかった。ママはお仕事をいっぱい頑張ってくれてるんだよ。毎日のご飯のために一生懸命働いてくれてるんだよ。お仕事やだ。ママ、お仕事なんかやめちゃえ。お仕事は大人の大切な仕事なんだよ。
Higurashi.
ご飯を食べさせて。
The new season is going to start in July 1st, I guess.
お洋服を買って。
It's the beginning of July, and I'm very excited.
学校の給食費を払って。
Because it's going to focus on Rena.
サマーキャンプの積み立て金を払って。それはみんなママが働いてお金を稼いでくれるからなんだよ。
And then I think it's going to be the first 2 arcs. Rena and then Mion. I want to know what happened on that second arc.
ご飯いらない。お洋服もいらない。給食もいらないし、サマーキャンプなんか行きたくない。どうせマリアをどこの班も混ぜてくれないもん。ウリュウ。
I think that in the second arc they changed the twins, Mion and Shion changed jobs.
ママはさっき電話でお仕事から帰ってきたらお土産を買ってきてくれるって約束してくれたよ。ママはマリアのことが大事で寂しくさせてることを申し訳ないと思ってるから、そういう約束をしてくれたんだと思うよ。そうかな。ウリュウ、めんどくさかったり嫌だったりしたらそんなことはしないもん。ママだってマリアのそばにいつだっていたいんだよ。それができなくてママも辛くて悲しい。ママが泣きながらずっとマリアの隣にいて夜を過ごしてくれた日を僕は覚えてるよ。なんでママが泣いてるのかわからなかったけど、悲しむママが悲しくて、ただマリアは黙ってママのそばにいることしかできなかった。あの時最後にママが言ったの僕は覚えてるよ。マリアにありがとうって言った。ただそばにいてくれるだけでマリアだけが世界でただ一人の味方なんだよってママは言ってくれた。ウリュウ、覚えてる？マリアが世界でただ一人の味方なんだよってママ言った。
Sakutaro set the remote control on the table, crawled up onto the sofa, sat on my lap and spoke to me, gazing into my eyes.
ママもきっとマリアと同じなんだよ。ママの描いたデザインだけがクライアントに笑われて、ママの会社だけが他の会社から面倒な仕事を押し付けられて、ママは社長だから自分一人で片付けなくちゃならなくて、ママの会社だけがいつも他の会社の仕事に混ぜてもらえない。ママの味方はマリアだけなんだよ。そのマリアがママにお仕事なんかやめちゃえなんて言ったら、ママの味方は世界中のどこにいるの？サク太郎。僕には世界中でただ一人マリアがいる。ママには世界中でただ一人マリアがいる。マリアにはママもいるしサク太郎もいる。だからマリアは寂しくなんかない。ウリュウ。ママはお仕事が忙しいからなかなかマリアと一緒にいられないけど、マリアはどうかそれを責めないで。その代わり僕はいつも一緒に、そしていつまでも一緒にマリアのそばにいるから。だから泣かないで。ウリュウ、僕が一緒じゃ悲しみを止められない？サクタ
Oh my god. Oh man. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. The corner of Maria's heart, which had been doing the best to seal up, drops of sadness finally dripped down. Drip, drip. Drop, drop. Drip, drop, drip, drop. In the weekends when Mama didn't come home weren't that rare of a thing. It was as though that night was particularly painful or sad compared to other nights. And yet Maria's tears poured down.
ウリュウ、マリア泣かないで。僕がずっと一緒にいるから。マリアが泣いても僕は泣かない。僕はライオンの子だから寂しくても泣かないよ。僕だって泣きたいけど僕は泣かないんだもん。どうしてザク太郎は泣かないの？こんなに寂しくて涙がこらえられなくても泣かないの？ウリュウ、だって僕が泣いたら誰がマリアを慰めるの？だから僕は泣かないよ。 ったってマリアに元気を出してもらいたいから。元気を出したらママは帰ってくるの？ママが帰ってきた時、元気なマリアで迎えてあげたらママはきっと喜ぶと思うな。ウリュウ。ママは喜ぶ？ウリュウ。そしたらきっとお仕事の疲れもきっと癒されると思うよ。そしたらきっといつもより早く元気になってくれて、マリアともいっぱい遊んでくれると思うな。マリアがママの待ってるお家へ帰ってきた時、ママが上機嫌で台所にいたらすごく幸せな気持ちになるでしょ。ママもきっと同じだよ。マリアがご機嫌でお留守番してたらママも幸せになるかな。うりゃ。
Oh man, her voice. Sakutaro nodded deeply with his big head. The tears couldn't keep falling from Maria's eyes. If she greeted Mama with a tear-stained face, Mama would probably get sad too.
マリアは知ってるよ。笑顔を呼ぶ魔法は自分も笑わなきゃできないってこと。マリアは知ってるよ。だからもう泣かない。ねえマリア、僕から楽しく過ごす提案があるよ。ウリュウ、聞いてくれる？何？ママが日曜日の深夜まで帰ってこないから、だからママに内緒のパジャマパーティーをして遊ぼうよ。パジャマパーティー？今夜は眠くなるまでベッドの中でお菓子を食べたりジュースを飲んだりしながら僕と遊ぶの。パジャマパーティー？楽しそう。9時に寝なくていいの？寝ないとママに怒られない？ママがいない時だけの僕とマリアの秘密。だから今夜はマリアが眠くなるまでずっと僕たちで楽しく過ごそう。ジェリービーンズを食べながら次は何の色を引くか当てっこして遊ぼう。ピーナッツを割ってどっちがおじいさんか当てて遊ぼう。クローゼットの中を宝探ししよう。他にもオレンジジュースとメロンジュースを合わせたらどんな味になるかな。おお、いっぺんやってみたかったけどママにやっていいって聞いたらダメって怒られた。ブリュー、ママに内緒で実験してみよう。今夜はいっぱい遊んでいっぱい笑って涙を元気で吹き飛ばしちゃおう。大丈夫、僕と一緒だから絶対に楽しいよ。僕が絶対にマリアを幸せにしてあげるから。サクタロと一緒なら絶対に楽しいよ。絶対に幸せになれるよ。ありがとうサクタロ。もう泣かないね。とびきり楽しく2人で過ごして思いっきり元気になってママをおかえりなさいって迎えちゃおう。うりゅう、今夜はいっぱい遊んでいっぱいご機嫌になっちゃおう。ママがいない夜にしか遊べない秘密のパーティーでいっぱい遊ぼう。僕たちが賑やかにしてたらきっと鏡の国や不思議の国からたくさんの友達が遊びに来るよ。そしたらもう僕たちはお友達でいっぱいで退屈なんかできなくなっちゃう。うりゅう。
Oh man. Then Maria began her pajama party all alone with Sakutaro, having thrown too late into the night. She played by sticking her hand into the bag of jelly beans without looking, trying to guess which color she'd pull out next. Sakutaro had good intuition and got it right a lot. Maria also had brilliant streak where she guessed right 4 times in a row. The game where she split peanuts open and tried to guess which was the grandpa was easier than guessing the color of the jelly beans, so she got it right a lot. Sucking her salt-covered fingers wasn't polite, but that was the yummiest part. She liked both cola and melon soda on their own. She hoped that by mixing her 2 favorite drinks might be a flash of light like alchemy. A new drink that no one has ever tasted before would be created. She got excited about how, if it turned out really delicious, she'd call Sakutaro soda and sell it. But unexpectedly, it had a weird taste that she hadn't hoped for. And the color was somewhat dull and thick. I shouldn't be surprised that black and green mixed together would make this so bad. I imagined that it would become a sparkling pineapple color. It was an awesome, incredible, fun night. If it's this fun here, maybe Mama will feel like coming home and drop out of the blue. So I got the feeling that Mama might suddenly come home and went to the front door many times to check. There was no way Mama would be able to come home when she was this busy with work. Rather than a feeling of loneliness, it felt just a little disappointing that Mama couldn't join in on it this fun late party night. Sometime soon I'll do this when Mama is around and let her join in. Maybe Mama likes some things I don't think are yummy, so maybe she'd really like Sakutaro soda. When Mama comes back tired, I'll serve her some. More than anything, I want to at least write about this fun night in a letter and tell Mama about it, so these feelings of happiness will reach Mama too. Work is always so tough and she comes home so tired, so I hope I can share this happiness with her. Mama will almost certainly come home tired late Sunday night, and I hope I can brighten her day even just a little by sharing this happiness. I gently placed that letter on Mama's desk. To Mama, good job with your work again today. Let me share my happiness with you. From Maria. Then I decided to give a present to Sakutaro for proposing this wonderful party. A small red muffler. It was a small red muffler I found while I was searching for treasure in the closet. When I was still very young, Mama knitted this tiny thing. Maria was embroidered on it with a knitting wool. I softly wrapped that muffler around Sakutaro. It really suited him, accenting his yellow with red very well. Oh man, this is so nice. Yes, it does. Sakutaro looked embarrassed as he wore his first ever present. Yeah, it really looks good on him.
Sakutaro, いつも本当にありがとう。こんなにも楽しい夜になったよ。どうしてマリアは泣いてたのか、もう思い出せないくらい。これからも一緒にいようね。
She definitely remembers. And it's so sad.
そしていつも楽しく遊んで笑っていようね。うりゅう、マリア大好き。マリアもだよ。サクタロ大好き。
After playing so wildly, Maria's room was a mess. Maybe she played a little too much, but I'm tired for today, so let's leave together. And tomorrow we'll clean up together and welcome Mama with a clean room. Alright, Sakutaro. Uryu!
ね、マリアは、マリアとサクタロはこんなにも幸せだよ。
Do you really think that? Search deep within your feelings, Luke.
これがマリアお姉ちゃんの幸せなの？
Sure. Oh, Angie's not pressing Maria enough.
マリアは幸せ。
ローザおばさんはあんなにも楽しみにして絶対だよと約束した映画の約束を完全に忘れてた。
お仕事で忙しかったからたまたま忘れちゃったんだよ。仮に覚えてたとしてもお仕事じゃどうしようもない。覚えてても覚えてなくてもどちらにせよママはお仕事でお泊まり。
Ask about her feelings and her wants. What she wants, what she feels. It's useless to say that, oh, she didn't come home, so she's abusing you. Oh, she didn't come home, she's neglecting you. She's hitting you. She's abusing you. But you can state all you want. It's not going to work against people like against Maria.
映画には行けなかった。
You need to ask about what she feels, what she wants.
約束を覚えてたかどうかなんて些細な問題だよ。
Specific circumstances. There's no way that's a minor issue. After all, when Rosa answered movie on the phone, it was so obvious that she'd completely forgotten her promise. Well, you could ask something like this. What would you feel if Rosa arrived on that night and partied with you, a pajama party, and then she greeted you with a present? What would you feel then? Would you feel more happiness or less? And when she heard that, Maria Nature's mood definitely darkened.
確かに
マリアお姉ちゃんの言う通り、ローザおばさんが約束を覚えていたとしても、結局映画には行けなかった。でも、それでも、お母さんとのささやかな休日を過ごす約束を一方的に忘れられていたなんて、悲しい。私なら怒る。
You're going about it in the wrong way, Angie. I'm sorry.
悲しかったよ。たとえ覚えててくれたとしても、映画には行けなかったわけだから。でも、私はその後、サクタロととても楽しく夜を過ごした。
If I was Angie right now, it's probably best that I don't talk with Maria because shoot.
エンジもパジャマパーティーがすっごく楽しそうだって思ったはず。
She definitely not welcome my
楽しいわけなん
thoughts
かない。
in that situation.
だって
I would
こ
actually
の夜の
cry.
マリアお姉ちゃんのはしゃぎぶりは、お母さんが帰ってこなくて寂しくて、それを忘れるためにわざと空騒ぎをしただけじゃない。
違うよ。サクタロと本当に楽しくパーティーをしたんだよ。
Being the one to point out that people are unhappy is a really shitty job. I'm sorry.
いいえ違う。お姉ちゃんは悲しくて約束を忘れてたお母さんが憎くて部屋で暴
But
れ
it's
た
the
だ
right
けじゃ
thing
ない。
to do. That's the problem. Pointing out that pointing out people's situations and how they're unhappy is a shitty job, but it's the right way to do it. It's
そんなこと、マリアの日記のどこに書いてあったの？
書いてはいない。でもこの一行飛ばしで書いてある行間からお姉ちゃんの気持ちがわかるの。
people can't stay ignorant of their own situation. I'm sorry. That's
お
not
姉
what
ちゃ
I
んは
agree with.
この夜を楽しくなんか過ごさなかった。それで言いつけを破って夜更かしをし、おやつの時間以外には食べてはいけないと厳しく言われていたルールを破ってお菓子を食べ、それでも悲しみが埋められなくて部屋の中で暴れて散らかしただけじゃない。そして部屋中を散らかして疲れ切って、
Oh man, she's crying, Angie.
そのままベッドのシーツをかきむしりながら泣き疲れて眠っただけ。
日記には確かに、ママが映画の約束を忘れてたらしいこと。そして、私が夜更かしをしてサクタロとパジャマパーティーをして、宝探しで部屋を散らかしてしまったと書かれてるね。
ええ、それはつまり、そういうことじゃない。マリアお姉ちゃんは、ローザおばさんの愛に飢えていた。そしてローザおばさんは、自分の仕事や世間体ばかりを優先して、いつもお姉ちゃんを後回しにしていた。だから虫唾が走るのよ。ローザおばさんのお姉ちゃんのことを愛しているという言葉がどれほど上辺だけのものか知っているから。
The problem is that Rosa, it's not really superficial. It's that she's just abusive. That's the problem.
お姉ちゃんだって知ってるはずなのに、なんで自分は幸せだなんて言えるの？
Yes. It's like I think that Rosa doesn't really like Maria for what she represents in her life.
マリアお姉ちゃんのそのあたりが私にはわからない。
She's a single mother and can't make.
この年になってもさっぱり理解できない。どうして悲しくないの？どうして不幸な現実を知りながら自分は幸せだなんて言えるの？私にはできない。わからない。
エンジは悲しい子だね。
Yes, but so are you. I'm sorry. Oh man, this is so complicated.
どうして私が哀れまれなければならないの？
私の日記にはこんなにも楽しくパジャマパーティーの事実が記されているのに、同じ事実も異なる人間が観測すると異なる姿になってしまうんだね。
I remember talking about something like this with Burke Estelle. Truth is unfixed and changes its form every time it's witnessed. By the way, it's perceived. In other words, depending on the person who perceives it, a single truth becomes different truths. And truths of the past are painted over by truths of the future.
マリアはこの日記でこの夜の出来事をとても楽しかったと記した。
マリアお姉ちゃんはこの夜の出来事をとても幸せだったと記述した。
なのに日記を読んだエンジェは、この夜の出来事をとてもとても悲しかったと読んだ。
マリアお姉ちゃんは幸せだと記述したのに、私はそうではないと読み解いた。
やめて。これは幸せな夜を記したものなの。
You made a mess out of your room, huh?
これがこの夜の真実。
I can make another truth for you. I can make another truth. I can say that you've written a lie and you were so frustrated that your mother had forgotten that you cried and ranted on your room all night and then made a mess out of your room with your crying. That could also be a truth.
お願いだからその幸せな真実を新しい、そして異なった真実で塗りつぶさないで。
マリアお姉ちゃんにはこれで幸せなの？
うん、幸せ。だから同じ境遇の時、幸せに感じられないエンジェがかわいそう。
Right now, I'm like she was then, just as isolated, with no friends. Ange had accepted her isolated reality for what it was, but Maria painted over her isolated reality with a reality of happiness. Sure, me and Maria took a sad truth and changed it into happiness. That was the only and yet very large difference between me and Maria and Ange. Even though I'm unable to accept it, I'm also jealous of that power.
そうなの。それは力なの。その力があるマリアは幸せになれて、その力がないエンジェは幸せになれない。
For me, happiness is something you build, not that you delude yourself into. And that's the problem.
力は
You can go on your slums and see a person injecting heroin or another drug and being happy. And then that person is deluding herself or himself that she or he is happy. But the fact is that their reality is miserable because she depends on something. Yes, you could chuck yourself full of heroin for the rest of your life and be the happiest person alive, or that's what you think you are.
マリアもその力を何と呼ぶか
And I
わ
know
から
people
なかっ
like
た。
that.
この時点ではね。
Delude themselves that another shot of cocaine, another shot of heroin, another
やがてその正体を教えてもらうの。
Here we have a lot of people taking in ecstasy as something that makes them happy, but instead it kills them here.
後に話すよ。後のページで。そして日曜日の深夜。
Deluding yourself that you are happy
お土産を
is a
持って
very sad thing.
帰ってきた。
I'm sorry. Happiness is something you build, not just something you delude yourself into.
ただいま。
おかえり。ママ帰ってきた。ママ帰ってきた。
I'm being very depressive and very realist about all this, but I'm sorry. It's like Maria is one of those characters I identify with the most, along with Ange, along with so it's kind of very real for me here, her situation. Waiting to greet Rosa as she returned home all tired out was Maria, in an unbelievably good mood, holding Sakutaro. Most likely, Rosa's one expression was partly because she was really tired, partly because would be a pain when Maria, who should have been grumbling after staying home alone for several days, would cling to her, sobbing. However, when she was welcomed by an unbelievably happy Maria, and found that her fears were unbelievably needless, Rosa couldn't hide her surprise.
どうしたのマリア。とてもご機嫌ね。誰か来ているの？
Strange enough to make Rosa think that a friend come over and that she'd come home right when they were having a good time playing together. but there was no other shoes by the entrance. Even though Maria was such in high spirits, she had been home alone. At first, Rosa was suspicious that the cause of this unexpected good mood could be nothing good, but really was a needless fear. And in any event, Maria really had been in a good mood while she watched over the house. Even if Rosa's heart had been as cold as hard as a rock, for being welcomed with a smile like that, Rosa started to honestly accept that smile, and a smile rose to her face automatically. That smile could no longer see any of the weariness of someone who'd been unable to return home for several days. Maria kept talking about what a fun time she'd been playing with her stuffed animal, Sakutaro. Rosa really had imagined that the stuffed animal she herself had given would be so appreciated, and she could hide her pleased surprise.
そう、サク太郎と一緒に仲良くお留守番していたのね。偉いわマリア。そんな偉いマリアとサク太郎にお土産があるわよ。
お土産なんだろうね。
Both Maria and Sakutaro stopped jumping around. There were two presents. One contained an assortment of Western sweets. Inside it was a Scotch cake. It looked like to be very high quality. But Maria was interested in the other one. The one with an even bigger box and was pretty heavy.
開けてごらん。マリアとサク太郎の新しいお友達になれるかもね。
Inside lay there like chess pieces, were about 20 small ceramic figures shaped like animals: squirrels, rabbits, small birds, dogs, and cats. And they were all holding musical instruments. In addition to them, there was also a panorama-style background. A forest scene was drawn on it. The small forest animals were gathered in a plaza and looked like they were having a good time. Rosa set it up on the table, and when she lined up the ceramic figures like chess pieces in front of it, it became a band of forest animals.
素敵でしょ。お店のショーウィンドウで見て一目惚れしちゃったの。これをいい子でお留守番してたマリアにプレゼントするわ。
ありがとうママ。すごいねサク太郎。お友達がこんなに増えちゃったね。サク太郎の言う通りだった。楽しく賑やかに過ごしてたらお友達が増えちゃうって本当だった。ね、言った通りでしょ。ほらね、お友達が増えた。ほらね、お友達が増えた。うりゅー。
Relieved that her gift had been appreciated, Rosa remembered that she'd filled with several days of weariness.
ママ、本当にお疲れ様。シャワー浴びてくるといいよ。あったかいの浴びるときっと疲れが取れるよ。湯船にする？マリアが今日は入浴剤を選んであげるね。
ありがとう。でももう遅いからマリアは寝る支度をなさい。ママも疲れたからシャワーだけ浴びてすぐ寝るわ。明日も早いし。
わかった。はいママ、コート脱がしてあげる。
大丈夫だってば。ありがとう。
ママのコート、あ、ごめん、何か落とした。拾うね。
When she took Rosa's coat, a receipt or ticket stub or something fell out. It had been on Mama's pocket, so it was probably important. Maria hurriedly picked it up. It looked like a ticket for the green car, or the Shinkansen or something. Atami? Wasn't that place famous for its hot springs? Oh no! At that moment, oh no! With a razor sharp sound, the warm atmosphere shattered. Instead of the Rosa who had been there just a second ago enjoying the gift of her daughter and recovering from her weariness for the long-awaited return home, there stood a person who looked exactly the same, but was completely different, but who had a completely different, terrifying expression on her face. In her hands was the ticket stub that Maria had picked up. She had stolen it from Maria's hand in an instant, just a few seconds too late. By the pain on her hand that had been hit, and her mother's expression, Maria realized that she must have done something wrong. Oh, but she didn't know what she had done that had gotten her in trouble. It's probably because of the ticket stub-like thing. Was she not supposed to touch it? Even though she had tried so hard to welcome Mama with fun and happiness, she had touched something important to Mama without asking, and had ruined that pleasant atmosphere. So Maria apologized immediately. Oh, I'm not liking this.
ごめんなさい。
Oh my god. Ugh. Even though she must have heard those words of apology, Rosa's expression actually darkened. If those weren't the words she had been hoping for, Maria didn't know what to do and stared at her mother's reaction. Then, even though it should have been an important ticket stub, Rosa crushed it up and hurried off to her room. Maria didn't understand what she had done wrong.
マリア、きっと余計なことをしたんだね。あの紙はきっとママのお仕事の大切なものだったんだね。それに勝手に触っちゃったから。
ウリュウ、マリアは悪くないよ。だから今夜だってこんなにも幸せ。
うん、幸せ。
ママだってお風呂に入ってすっきりしたらいつもの優しいママに戻ってくれるよ。だから気にしちゃダメ。ウリュウ。
そうだね。ママだって疲れてるんだもんね。気にしちゃダメだね。今夜だってマリアたちはこんなにも幸せ。ウリ
ュウ。Oh man.
やめてよ。見てられない。
エンジェは幸せの見つけ方が間違ってると思うよ。
間違ってるのはお姉ちゃんでしょ。これのどこが幸せだってのよ。もう痛々しくて見てられない。
何が？ママが急に怒り出したこと？人間疲れていればそういうこともあるものだよ。
No, it's that she's lying to you. That's the problem.
一時の感情のすれ違いだけで相手を全否定するのってエンジは大人じゃないと思うよ。
Momentarily misplaced emotion, huh? What about the other times? Momentarily. What about the other times? It's not that momentary, is it? It's constant, every day, every time, with just a few pockets of happiness sprinkled in, just so you can be deluded that you are happy.
9歳のマリアお姉ちゃんに言われるとはね。でもそんなことじゃないでしょ。もうお姉ちゃんが拾ったあの半券、明らかにおかしいじゃない。
Yep.
何が？何もおかしくないし、今夜の幸せと何も関係ないよ。
But it has to do with the happiness of your life instead. If she's lying to you that she's going to work and instead going on a vacation, then there's a deep-seated problem there already. Yes, it didn't intrude on tonight's happiness, but if she's lying to you and it becomes a common thing, then what's...
ローザおばさんは仕事で会社に泊まり込むって電話してきたんでしょ。なんで熱海？それって旅行でしょ。マリアお姉ちゃんを置き去りにして旅行に行ってたってことでしょ。しかも普通旅行って言ったら一人では。
あれが仮に熱海行きの件だったとしても、だからってママが嘘をついて旅行に行った証拠にはならないよ。
deluding yourself.
電話で嘘をついてあんなにも形相を変えて奪い取って何よりの証拠じゃない。
昔の仕事で出張した時のものかもしれないよ。あるいはゴミか何かをたまたまポケットに入れちゃっただけかも。部下の人が出張した時の領収書かもしれないね。
What did you feel when she changed her expression then? What did you feel at that time?
だったら仕事の大切なもの。
Do you feel happy that anything that you do might upset her? Do you feel happy that you have to walk eggshells around Rosa now? Are you happy that's the new reality you're sitting in?
おもちゃじゃないんだから ママが取り上げたのもうなずける
Even
よ。
if it was a business trip from a while ago, even if it was something from her subordinates, do you feel happy that she reacted that way?
エンジェの言う証拠なんて単なる状況証拠。
Was it a happy night after that?
想像と妄想。どうしてマリアとママの仲が悪くなるように解釈するのかわからないよ。
どうしてお姉ちゃんがそこまでローザおばさんの都合がいいように解釈できるかの方がわからない。
For a child like Maria, you have to ask about her feelings instead, not the facts, not the theories.
やっぱりエンジェはかわいそうな子。君を幸せにしてくれるかけらはこんなにもたくさん身の回りに落ちているのにそれを見つけられない。なのに不幸せなかけらばかり見つけてしまって傷つき続けている。だからエンジェは傷つくことに怯え。
And she's a sad child that has that doesn't have a clear goal. I mean, she has a clear goal, but she doesn't know how to get there. The problem is, she doesn't know. It's hard to say right now, but Battler is also a sad character because he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have an end game. And that's the problem with Battler as a character, because he's on the indecisive state of whether he needs to destroy Beatrice or form some sort of resolution with her, or what, or he wants to stay there forever. He's caught in between these three routes right now. He doesn't know where to go. And now
傷つけるものが身の回りにないかどうか、それ
Angie's
を確か
forcing
め終わるまで幸せ探しすら始められない。
Angie's forcing a resolution, and now Beatrice is also forcing another resolution because of the introduction of the blue truth and rules after the game is over. All now or
お姉ちゃん
nothing.
と話をしてると
When he doesn't,
おかしいのがどっちかわからなくなってくるわ。
when he's pretty lost on what to do.
あのね、幸せのかけらも不幸せのかけらもどちらもいっぱいあって世界を満たしてるの。だから身近の幸せが見つけられない人はどこまで探しに行っても見つけられない。
On one hand, playing with Beatrice for all eternity is something comforting for Battler. On the other hand, trying to actually win and trying to actually kill Beatrice or defeat her or whatever is pretty hard for him, because I think he is starting to have feelings for her, and that's a problem. So he doesn't want to take things too seriously and wants things to stay the same. On the other hand, he also wants like a peaceful resolution with Beatrice instead of a violent one. And he's not getting that as well. Now Angie comes into the picture trying to force him to win.
チルチルとミチルが青い鳥を探したみたいに。
そうね、そういう教訓の話だった。
エンジェはその正反対。不幸せなかけらが全くない世界を探してる。でもそれだって青い鳥と同じなんだよ。だから永遠にエンジェは自分の幸せを見つけられない。
What's wrong with trying to find a perfect world? There's nothing wrong with that.
バトラはヘンゼルなの？青い鳥なんじゃないの？
もういい加減にして。いずれにせよ、幸せな夜がコートから落ちた一枚の紙切れで台無しになったことはよくわかったわ。
怖いね。一枚の紙切れで。なら幸せを取り戻す力も一枚の紙切れに宿れるかもしれないよね。
Oh man, this is so complicated. I gave my thoughts, but they were pretty forceful. I'm sorry about that. Rosa's face. Oh, I forgot to read. Just when she'd finally be able to communicate with Maria for so long, Rosa's face twisted with a mixture of anger, sadness, and a fierce self-hatred. She flew into her room and closed the door. Maria's sorry had sliced her chest up sharper than a knife. At that time, she noticed a cute envelope placed on her study table. It was probably something that had come to with a girl's magazine. To Mama. Let me share my happiness with you, it said. She took it, and after hesitating, opened it and read what was inside. Then, after dotting the surface of the paper with 2 large tears, she flew out of the room, hugged Maria from behind as she headed for the bathroom, buried her face into her daughter's back, and cried. And realizing that she was the one who should be saying sorry, she apologized. That's new. Why is Mama apologizing? There was no answer to that question.
ほら、もう仲直り。
Yes, you made up. How many times did Rosa ask to make up in the second episode, huh?
あんなの、ママとマリアの仲良しの前には全然気にすることないんだよ。
Yes, it was a small event, but how many will it happen from now on? How many small events?
私には、マリアお姉ちゃんの幸せは辛すぎる。
エンジェの気持ちも一応は理解するよ。マリアだってこの力に気づくまでは今のエンジェと同じで不幸なかけらしか見つけられない気の毒な子だったから。
Oh God, shoot. Oh. Shannon. Oh man.
その力って何？私になくてお姉ちゃんにはある。そしてそれがないから私は不幸でお姉ちゃんは幸福だというの？
She's saying that she developed a mental problem because of her growing up.
力という抽象的な表現でしか理解できない。それは一体どんな力なの？
うん。エンジェはそれが知りたいんだよね。だから私の物語をここまで読み進めてきたんだもんね。もちろんだよ。教えてあげる。
She's reading your story because that's the last thing she has on a family member that she doesn't hate.
この力の秘密を。そして私は昔、幼いエンジェにちゃんと教えてあげたんだよ。忘れちゃってる？大丈夫。思い出せるよ。今から私が、彼女が教えてあげる。
彼女？って誰？
わらわがそれをマリアに代わって教えよう。
ベアトリーチェ。
I'm raging right now. I'm so mad.
マリアにはあって、そなたにはない力。
I'm so fucking mad.
うん。マリアにあって、エンジェにない力。
Oh my god, this is so bad. I fucking hate this so much. It's magic. Maria and Beato said it together. And then they started giggling because they said it at the same time. It was an innocent reaction, one that didn't seem like Beato at all. Ah, I'm so mad! Black tea was arranged on a table in a peaceful garden, and Beato, Maria, and Sakutaro, who was sitting on Maria's lap, were having fun chatting.
ほう、そうか。サク太郎と申すか。そなたの一番の友人とな。
Beatrice, I fucking hate you right now. I hate you so fucking much because I didn't forget the third episode. I didn't, you piece of shit.
はじめまして、サク太郎と申します。
I didn't forget that you killed Maria by proxy like that.
おう、
サク太郎は人見知りするから緊張してるの。
Broken promises, huh?
大丈夫だよ。
Oh my
ベ
god,
ア
I'm
トリーチ
so
もマ
mad.
リアの素敵なお友達なんだよ。
ウリュウ、マリアの友達は僕も友達？ウリュウ、じゃあ僕もベアトリーチェの友達？ウリュウ。
マリアにとってはこのようなことは日常においてよくあることなのか？
何が？
このように無機物に魔法の魂を込め生を宿らせることはそなたの日常においては左半時なのか？
おお、サク太郎は無機物じゃないよ。ライオンの子だよ。
ウリュウ。
ぬいぐるみはよりしろとして優秀だ。ゆえに毒を持たぬ無垢な子供が話しかけることによってそれに応えようとする精霊が宿ることが少なくない。
According to Beatrice, every time a child plays with dolls, the doll actually gains a will and converses with them, sometimes even moving by their own will. However, because of their innocence, the power imbued into such a vessel is very weak. If they get struck with even a tiny bit of the toxin from a human's common sense, it says that there's no way a doll can talk and move. They instantly revert back to being non-speaking dolls.
しかしそなたのそのサク太郎というぬいぐるみは違う。
I didn't forget the end of episode 2 as well.
ウリュウ、ライオンの子。
I didn't forget episode 2, I didn't forget episode 3.
ウリュウ。
サク太郎はライオンの子だけどまだ子供だから時々ガオーって言えないの。ウリウリウリウ。
ウリウリウリュウ。
Man, Sakutaro. Gazing at Maria, who was playing around with Sakutaro by the table loaded with tea, Beatrice let out a sigh of admiration.
なんということか。サク太郎とやらはその布地と綿のよりしろを核に完全に人間界に権限している。自らの人格を持ち召喚者と自在に対話をし、しかも自らの意志で動いている。しかもさらに驚くべきはそれが異界の人物を名指しして呼び寄せたものではなく、マリアがゼロの海から生み出したものという点だ。
After that, Maria boasted to Beato that Sakutaro wasn't her only friend and that she had many more of them back home. It seemed that there were other similar stuffed animals and dolls that could talk and move of their own will like Sakutaro. It was something natural for Maria. It was natural for stuffed animals to talk, move, and become her friends of her own will. When she saw that Maria had accepted this as something natural, as a witch, Beatrice felt a respect bordering on awe.
マリア、そなたのその力は紛れもなく魔法である。
魔法なの？マリアはまだ魔女見習いだから魔法なんて使えない。
Aw man, I don't want Beatrice anywhere near Maria. I'm so mad.
いいや、魔法だ。それを自覚して使えぬから未だ見習いなのであろうが、それにしても大した魔力。そなたの友人サク太郎の権限こそがその立派な証であるぞ。
権限って？
うん、そなたの場合は創造と呼んでも良いであろうな。他人の手にあっては何の魂も持たぬ無機物がそなたの魔法によって魂を吹き込まれている。しかもそれを強力な力で人間界に留めている。これほどまでに魔法を否定する毒気に満たされた現代において、一個の生命体足り得るほどに権限できる魔力はわらわとて容易なことではないわ。
It isn't hard to give birth to any number of soulless beings. However, giving birth to a being with a soul is very difficult. This is what Beato asserted.
ベアトが言うのがよくわかんない。サク太郎がすごいってこと？
サク太郎とそなたが共に素晴らしいということだ。誇ってよい。なるほど。金蔵の最も欲したものはそなたに一番濃く宿っているらしい。
なんでベアトにそんなに褒められるのかさっぱり。 えサク太郎。うりゅー。
真に驚嘆すべきはぬいぐるみに魂を宿したことだけではないのだ。それにより自己の世界観まで変化させた。そなたは無より有を生じる力が群を抜いている。1を100にすることはたやすい。しかし0から1を生じることはたやすくはない。そなたが一人前の魔女になったなら、わらわと双璧どころかわらわとて一目置かざるを得ない大魔女に成長するであろう。原初の魔女。そなたの将来がわらわにとっても楽しみだ。
A Witch of Origins.
ベアトに魔女の才能あるって褒められた。
So, Witch of Certainty, Witch of Miracles, and Witch of Origins.
よかったねマリア。
An endless witch.
ウリュウ、ベアとマリアを褒めてくれてありがとう。
礼には及ばぬぞ。
And then there's the finite witch, Virgilia, as well.
その赤いマフラーは実に似合っているぞ。そしてそなたのような友人を生み出せるそなたの主人の才能に嫉妬する。
マフラー褒めてくれてありがとう。これマリアにプレゼントしてもらったの。僕のお気に入り。
まさにそなた専用のマフラーになるために生まれてきたようなサイズであるな。これはわらわも新しき友人に何かプレゼントを贈らねばなるまい。
ベアトがサク太郎にプレゼントを。
魔女の贈り物は魔力あるものと決まっておる。ならばそなたの友人がいつまでもそなたの友人でいられるよう、そしてそなたともっと楽しく遊べるように、サク太郎にわらわの魔力を贈ろう。それによりさらに強く権限することができるだろう。
サク太郎ともっともっと楽しく遊べるようになるの？どうやって？
ウリュウ？なんだろうマリア、それって怖いこと？
大丈夫だよ。ベアトは怖いことなんて何もしないよ。ね、ベアトリーチェ。
うん、必ず気に入ってもらえるはずだ。さて、より強く権限するにはより強いイメージが必要であるな。さてさて、
Oh, I'm sorry. Beato crossed her arms and thought about what she could do to please them even more. Nope. Then right there was a form of yet another witch. It was Beato's teacher, Virgilia. I haven't seen you in a minute. Virgilia truly was a great witch. Since Maria had already thought of Beato as a great witch, this person Beato called a great witch must have been a great witch. According to Beato, she still didn't even rise up to this witch's feet when it came to magical power.
おやおや、賑やかな声が聞こえてくると思ったら楽しそうなお茶会ですこと。おお、お師匠様、ちょうどいいところへこのライオンの子を見てほしい。マリアの新しい友人だそうだ。かわいらしいライオンさんですね。ご挨拶はできるのかしら。はじめまして、こんにちは。
ウリュウ、サク太郎と申します。
Sakutaro fell to Maria's lap, greeting Virgilia with a half of his face poking out over the edge of the table. It seemed that he was very nervous. This was a witch that even Beato called a teacher.
かわいらしい名前だこと。上手な挨拶ができたご褒美にお菓子をあげましょうね。
After waving her hands about, Virgilia held the palm of her hands upwards, as though she was lightly grabbing at the empty air. Then she held the fist out in front of Sakutaro. When she had opened the fist, there was one of the individually wrapped cough drops.
ウリュウ？飴だよマリア、すごいすごい。
よかったねサク太郎。ちゃんとお礼を言ってね。
ウリュウ、飴をどうもありがとうございます。ペコリ。
Even though Virgilia was a great witch, she still treated a stuffed animal like Sakutaro to an elegant greeting.
しかしお師匠様、のど飴とはまたババ臭い。
Oh my
せ
god.
めていちごミルクのキャンディーとか出ないのかよ。
これはひどい。もうあなたには飴をあげませんよ。
悪い悪い。
Oh man.
さて、マリア、そなたの魔導書を出すがよい。もちろん筆記用具もな。
うん、出すよ。何か書くの？
おや、何を始めるのですか？
お師匠様に習った魔法を使うのだ。よりしろに異界の住人を権限させる魔法。あれの応用でこのマリアの友人を権限させる力をより強めることができるのではないかと思ってな。それをマリアとマリアの友人への贈り物としたい。
なるほど。すでに権限している存在ならそう難しいことではないでしょう。それは素敵な贈り物になりそうですね。では私もささやかですが協力しましょう。
お師匠様が立ち会い人にサインしてくれる魔法なら心強い。喜べマリア、これは素晴らしい贈り物になるぞ。
うりゅ？何が始まるの？怖くない？怖くない？
わかんない。でも怖くないと思う。なんだろうね。楽しみだね。
Seeing that, Dieto borrowed the grimoire from Maria's handbag and majestically flipped through the pages. Then she found an empty page amongst those with magic circles drawn on them and flattened it out. After gazing at Sakutaro with a grin, she suddenly started moving her pen. It was something like a written declaration made by witches to a higher order world. It was a magic whose effect could be controlled if Beatrice wrote and Virgilia signed. Maria didn't understand what Beato was writing at first. Partway through, she figured out the wonderful magical power of this document, and her eyes began to sparkle.
うりゅ？どうしたのマリア？何を書いているの？うりゅ？
Sakutaro was on her lap, so he didn't know what was being written on the table. But even if he had seen, Sakutaro probably wouldn't have understood.
すごいよ、サクタロー。待ってて、もうすぐだよ、もうすぐだよ。ベアトすごい、ベアトすごい。
力ある書面の筆記においてこの子の才能は素晴らしい。あなたになら魔界の書記官すら務まりそうですよ。
So much world building in them.
これでどうか。まずまずであろう。
After finishing her writing with an intense amount of concentration, Beato looked over the document again from a distance. It seemed that she was fairly satisfied with her work. And Maria was also peeking at it, let out a cry of wonder.
すごいよ、ベアト。かわいい。
黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェの名においてマリアの子サクタロウをここに認める。お師匠様、立ち会い人にサインを頼むぜ。
はいはい、我が名においてこの先生に立ち会い認めるものなり。できましたよ。
Is this Virgilia signed completing the written declaration? The document was part to proclaim the beings of a higher world that Sakutaro has most certainly materialized in the human world. Sakutaro, who had been born from Maria, was nominated by the two witches, Beatrice and Virgilia. Just now, his existence had been acknowledged by the higher world. That itself was the great magic of materialization. According to Beato, it was apparently quite fortunate that Virgilia was there. After all, depending on the number and quality of the witches that signed proclamations to the higher world, the power that resided in them could change drastically. Virgilia in particular had many friends in that higher plane. So her signature gave the proclamation a power with it which Beato couldn't even compare.
この宣言書により汝サクタロウを自がある一個人と認める。そしてその存在をマリアージュ・ソルシエールの条約に従い友人として迎える。今よりサクタロウは我ら共通の友人だ。 それにふさわしき姿を贈り物としてそなたに贈ろう。
Oh man.
受け取るがよい。
Is he gonna get a human form? With the grimoire still open to the page with the proclamation, she turned it around and handed it to Maria. Maria showed it to Sakutaro on her lap. When Sakutaro beheld that proclamation, he felt something hot and bright begin to swell in his body made of cloth and cotton. Even as he looked around, nervous at a sensation he had never felt before, that power strengthened. Eventually, a bright light completely swallowed him up.
うりゅうりゅうりゅうりゅう
Oh man, yep, human form. Then when that light disappeared, I mean, there Maria's friend Sakutaro held a new form and existed. Oh man, this design though. Oh man, it's actually nice.
かわいいよサクタロー、すっごいかわいいよ。
うりゅうりゅう、本当に似合ってる？
Yeah.
恥ずかしくない？
Nah. I mean, the clothes are, but
とても可愛らしい姿ですよ、サク太郎ちゃん。マフラーがチャームポイントだと思ってな。あとは耳だ。獣耳はいいぞ。実に可愛い。後でわらわにもかじらせよ。
oh my god. Are you a Shota? Are you a Shota Con, Beatrice? Oh no.
本当にありがとう。
This was not the tag I searched for.
礼には及ばぬ。
This was not a tag I searched for when I started playing Umineko. I'm sorry.
そなたの素晴らしき魔法と友人に敬意を表したまでよ。そしてこの域にまで達したそなたはもはや見習いをいつ卒業してもおかしくない。今日よりさらに新しく楽しい魔法を伝授してやろう。これより原初の魔女見習いのマリアと名乗るがよい。
原初の魔女って？
うん、造物種の道を求める魔女の称号よ。今は身の回りの小物に魔力を吹き込む力しか持たぬエンチャンターでしかない。しかし1000年の修行を経たならばその胸の内より魔法体系はおろか原初の魔女の才能はとても希少。
Oh my god. What is this scale of things?
幼き日には誰もが持つのに誰も持ち続けることができない。この称号はあなたが汚れなき心を失わなかったことの証で
Oh
もあ
my
りま
god, this
すね。
makes me so mad.
原初の魔女すごい。
Because you can tell what's going on here. You can tell that both Beatrice and Virgilia are not... I think this is in the past. And I think that this is representing Shannon and Kumasawa instead. And that they are manipulating Maria again. And I feel very mad.
マリア、原初の魔女見習い。
マリア、すごいね。原初の魔女、すごいすごい。うりゅう。
やがては一人前の原初の魔女マリア教を名乗ることに
I
な
think
る。
this is in the past.
サク太郎だけでなく
And not
そ
on
ろそろ
the
そなた
on the
も
magic
その
world.
格にふさわしい身なりをしても良い
And
頃
it's
であろう
not
な。
Beatrice but Shannon and Kumasawa.
それ見習いとはいえ魔女の名を語るにふさわしき服装を与えよう。
And Beato waved the pipe that was her cane. Many gold butterflies that appeared out of nowhere, grouped around Maria, giving her a wonderful dress. Oh my god. Oh, this. Oh my god. That's Ava Beatrice's stuff. It certainly was fitting for the girl who would eventually take the name of the Witch of Origins, combining both cuteness and dignity.
すごいすごいすごいすごいすごいかわいいかわいいこのお洋服ママにも見せたいダメ
魔女の清掃はみだりに見せてはならぬぞ。もったいぶった方が価値が出るというもの。
And the Great Witch, the Witch and the Witch is a Princess, and their new friend Sakutaro enjoyed a lively tea party.
ね私はこんなにも幸せだよ
I'm so mad.
そしてこんなにも楽しい幸せになることをどうか恐れないで幸せになるというのは今の不幸を受け入れるという意味じゃないの今の不幸の中に幸せを新しく生み出すということなのそれが原初の魔法
私は今の自分の世界を認めたくなかったこんなにも孤独で辛い世界を肯定するのが
She's
許
trying
せ
to
なかった
contradict herself again.
だからマリアお姉ちゃんの世界に惹かれながらも最後の一戦で受け入れられなかった
You're saying happiness is built, but then you
教えて
you
あ
see
げ
your
る
current situation. I
マリ
mean,
アの原初の魔法をいいえ教えたことがあったはずそしてあなたにも使えたはずなんだよ忘れちゃったエンジェだってマリアージュ・ソルシエールに名を連ねる魔女の見習いだったでしょ
ええそうだったわねマリアージュ・ソルシエール懐かしいわね
oh my god, the name.
私もそこに名を連ねていることがあったっけ
Wow, this chapter was very long. October 1998, the world 12 years later. Sunberg Lily.
ええ、あれは忘れもしない。1987年4月のことです。私は友人からある奇妙な依頼を受けました。とある大富豪の遺品である蔵書が大量に競売にかけられていて、その一部に民族学的にも考古学的にも、あるいはオカルト的な意味でも極めて価値の高いものが含まれていると思われる、その価値を内密に見てほしいというのです。
87年ロッケン島での事件の半年後
さようです。
Oh my god. Oh, that's a toad-like design.
それらの蔵書はロッケン島での難を逃れたものと説明されていました。
Don't like his design at all.
島の所有者である後宮エバ氏が競売に出したというのです。
This was apparently a high-class restaurant. A middle-aged man was sitting across from Ange in a secluded and quiet seat. Makoto could be seen by the entrance. He was probably keeping a lookout for pursuers from the Sumadera family. The scholarly man across from Ange spoke politely, but with enthusiasm. He didn't lay a finger on the food in front of him, so you could tell how excited he was as he spoke fervently. He was a professor at some certain college, and particularly well known as an authority on Western folklore. However, amongst his life works, that was only a convenient exterior. His true life work was the study of occultism, Western magic, alchemy, everything else to do with the occult, as well as demonology. In short, he was the person in the best position to understand the details of Kinzo's research.
まず蔵書を鑑定して分かったことは、後宮エバ氏には民族学的な教養は全くなく、そしてその蔵書の本来の持ち主である後宮金蔵氏は、日本で5子に入る悪魔学の権威であったことは間違いないということです。
He's an actual snob. April 1987. Major city antique shop obtained a large quantity of ancient documents that were thought to have a high historical value. They were entrusted with them by Shermia Eva, who wanted them to be sold at an auction. At the time, it was thought that Ava would succeed the Shermia family and had all the wealth to herself as the only survivor. However, at that point, not even half a year passed since the accident, and the others had not been missing long enough to be presumed dead, even under extraordinary circumstances. because of that, Eva had supposedly been in a very tight spot financially, unable to even collect on her family's life insurance. It seemed that she tried to sell everything of value. Even the books kept in the place that she escaped harm in, Ecuadorian, were used for this purpose. So she was in Ecuadorian. What the hell? They were old books, which would eventually be called Yoshimiya Library, were gathered from antique shops by authorities in the field so they could be appraised. Those authorities were astounded.
少なくとも神秘学の見地から言えば、その発見が世界に与えた衝撃は司会文書発見にも匹敵するものでした。後宮蔵書にはなんと1000年以上にもわたる間、その存在だけが知られているにもかかわらず、発見されていなかった数々の極めて重要な文献さえ含まれていたからです。
How the hell did kings... The many dreams of the occult, such as those represented by alchemy, always stirred an intense fascination in dilettantes. It's whispered that many magical books of great historical value, currently unknown to the public, have been the secret possession of extremely wealthy lovers of the occult. Items such as Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, which was pretty popular amongst dilettantes. I don't know how to say that word. Are said to be prime examples of this. Except that approximately 5,000 pages of these notebooks currently exist, that over 10,000 have been lost. But some researchers believe that a large part of this lost proportion might be monopolized by certain enthusiasts and members of the extremely rich. Say that because of this, even now, dilettantes who can help but seek these spare no expense to search around for quietly hoarded away and unannounced the notebooks. There is probably no doubting that Yoshimi Kinzo himself was one of these dilettantes. I don't know how to speak that. No one knows what Kinzo went through to obtain those. It cannot be known because he used his vast wealth freely, buying them off of all the rich people with the same hobby as him. Those books which are so valuable that enthusiasts could never satisfy that desire to hoard them away, were discovered in large numbers at the end of the 20th century. Their release to the public had given them entire world a massive shock.
この一件により、ロッケン島の名は全世界に知れ渡ることになります。そして同時に、ロッケン島の事故によって、未発見のさらに価値ある蔵書が大量に失われた可能性が高いことも全世界に衝撃を与えました。
Were lost during the accident on Rokkenjima. Valuable accident on Rokkenjima.
これにより、ロッケン島と後宮蔵書の名は我々にとって生涯忘れないものとなったのです。
Our memories that our probably meant the occult neck of the woods with the same hobby as Kinzo. Because of that incident, the name of Rokkenjima had taken on a vital meaning in the world of the occult. There certainly had been a lot of reporting about the accident on Rokkenjima itself, but not on an international level. I heard this one part had spread across the world, taking the image of Rokkenjima as a small island in Izu archipelago and painting it over as a demonic island where riddles, suspicion, mystery, and the occult met. In other words, until Kinzo's library was leaked to the public by Eva, Rokkenjima had been merely a nameless island that no one could remember, and certainly not the island of a witch. However, when knowledge of the Yoshimiya library spread all across the planet, Rokkenjima's image immediately took on an occult twist. Ooh.
そこへ起こるのが例のメッセージボトル事件です。
I went back to the credits of episode 1, and it seems that Maria put a message bottle out. I think that was
これがあの島を魔女の島に変えた伊豆諸島の無名の小島がオカルトの島へ、そして謎の魔女ベアトリーチェの島へと変遷していったのです。後宮蔵書とメッセージボトル、このどちらが欠けてもロッケン島魔女伝説は成り立たなかったと言えます。
メッセージボトル。
はい、空の瓶に手紙を封印し海に投じるという不特定対象への通信方法です。無人島から SOS を発信するというのが有名ですが、海外の有名推理小説の影響で 自らの死後に真実を告白するという時間差的な遺書としても知られるようになりました。ロッケン島メッセージボトル事件はまさにこの後者だったのです。
近くの島の漁師が拾っていたというやつですね。
さようです。式根島の若い漁師が手紙入りのワインボトルを拾っていたことが分かったのです。この若い漁師は興味本位からそれをたまたま保管していました。それが後宮蔵書でロッケン島が世界的注目を浴びたため公表したというのです。
その漁師による捏造の可能性は？
もちろんその可能性も否定できませんでした。ワインボトル内のノート片には後宮家のとある人物の署名がされていました。後宮マリアという少女です。
I don't think it was Maria who wrote that. Could have been Battler.
しかし彼女の遺品の肉筆から別人の筆跡であることが確認されました。
Oh man.
別人の筆跡？
さようです。少なくとも少女より達筆で年齢のある人物によって書かれたことは疑いようがないでしょう。
Maria would have been writing about the Golden Land instead.
彼女の名を語った何者かが執筆した可能性が極めて高かったのです。よってこの時点ではノート編の内容の信憑性は薄いと考えられました。
However, later on it was confirmed that a similar match's bottle had been recovered from the nearby ocean on the day of the accident by the police in their search for the lost articles, and this caused a sensation.
警察は現場の状況とボトルの封印状況から捏造の可能性は低く、事故直前の数日以内に投棄したものと判断したようです。また双方の筆跡は一致しました。これにより漁師の発見したノート片の信憑性が増すこととなりました。メッセージボトルの内容については週刊誌などが繰り返し報道しているようですが、説明がいりますかな？
いいえ、一応知っていますので。
Many scraps of paper had been stuffed into both of the wine bottles. It was an extensive notebook written by someone calling themselves Shannon and Maria, but who wasn't Maria, and which told of the events starting the day before the accident, and up until the day of the accident, in a diary-like way. Its contents had been the beginning of the witch's legend serial murder incidents, as well as the Golden Witch Beatrice's puzzle. The witch's legend serial murder incident.
この奇妙な日記風式には台風で島に釘付けにされた後宮家の親族たちが魔女復活の儀式に巻き込まれ、次々に不可解な方法で殺されていく様子が記されていました。そして最後に黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェがよみがえり、全てを黄金鏡に飲み込む。まるでそれこそが当日の全容であるかのように記されていました。また当時の島の状況についても非常に詳しく描写されており、後宮家に勤務したことがある元の使用人たちは間違いなく内部に詳しい人間が書いたに違いないと証言しました。
そのおかしな幻想小説と後宮蔵書以降のオカルトブーム、そして結局は真相は闇の中という3つが合わさり、ロッケン島の魔女伝説を生み出したと。
さようです。すでに10年以上が経過した事件ですが、未だに世界のオカルトマニアの関心を集めています。
Couldn't have been Maria because they confirmed it. So it could only have been one of the siblings, but then Ava would have confirmed it. Couldn't have been George. Could have been Jessica. Could have been Battler. Either Jessica or Battler wrote the letter then.
いや、むしろ時間を得てますますに神格化されたと言っていい。上陸禁止になっているロッケン島に密かに上陸しようというマニアも未だに多いとか。
Oh man.
未だ未発見のメッセージボトルがあるのではないか。そしてあの日、あの島で本当は何があったのか。 未だに議論はつきませんとも。
As though he finally remembered that he's been going on and on about some time. The man took a gulp of water. His pottage was getting cold, but it seemed that the man's hunger had been blown away.
確か漁師のノート編と警察のノート編で内容が全く違うと聞きましたが。
さようです。このせいでロッケン島ミステリーはさらに面白みが増したのです。2つのボトルの中身はどちらも事故前日から当日までを記した日記風の式です。しかしその内容は共に前日から当日を記した内容であり、にもかかわらず内容は全く異なったのです。まるでどちらかが真実で、あるいは両方とも虚偽なのかもしれない。しかし始まりと終わりだけは一致するのです。始まりは親族たち18人は台風で島に閉じ込められた。
So they're detailing the episodes then.
そして終わりは全員が死に黄金の魔女がよみがえり、全ては黄金鏡に飲み込まれる。
Contents of both message bottles wrote about the events of the day before the accident and the day of the accident. The details are completely different. Both diaries outline a serial murder following the epitaph of the witch. The other was sacrifices, the ways they died, and even the tale of the 2 days were different. However, in both, everyone died in the end, and the witch revived, making for the same general plot.
あの島で何があったのか。唯一の生存者である後宮エバ氏が沈黙していた以上、あの2日間の出来事は全てが闇の中です。
And then the people are allowed to speculate freely.
この2つの日記はその闇を埋める仮説をこともあろうか2つも提示してみせたのです。どちらの日記でも2日間を説明できる。しかしどちらが正しいのか、あるいは正しいことが含まれているのかさえわからないのです。
So this is casting doubt on the episodes and the veracity and everything that happened might not have been the real thing that happened. Schrodinger's cat box. So the episodes might have been a lie as well. If it isn't denied, even a mixture of truth and fiction can be the truth. Through the media, these scraps of papers had, of course, been shown to Eva as well, but in the end, she never broke her silence. So Eva could not have. So the culprit might have not have been even Eva, actually. Oh my God, it's so. Oh man, this is breaking my brain. Oh man.
何のためにメッセージボトルを？
事件10周年特集を組んだ雑誌が以前大々的に取り上げたでしょう。あの仮説が今日では最も支持を集めているようです。しかし面白みには欠ける。あの島であの日何が起こったのか、それを考えるのがウィッチハントの醍醐味なのですな。
Witch Hunt translation,
ウィ
son.
ッチハント？
Witch Hunts.
ロッケン島ウィッチハントとは、この事件の真相をオ
I see.
カルトの側面から説明しようと試みるマニアの集いのことです。後宮蔵書から謎の2日間、そして黄金の魔女の伝説など、ロッケン島に関わる謎は今でもマニアの間で盛んに議論されているのです。
Oh man.
10周年の時にはニューヨークで国際コンベンションも開かれました。
Imagine you're Angie, and this guy's so enthusiastic about the occult way that your family was murdered. Oh man, I would hit him so hard in the face.
私も日本の代表として参加してきましてね、海外の熱心なウィッチハンターと様々な交流をしてきましたよ。海外では魔女はとても人気のあるカテゴリーでしてね、参加者の年齢幅も下は小学生から上は著名な文化人まで実に幅広い。日本でも近年ようやく。
You probably don't need more explanation, but he's one of the most famous Rokkenjima witch hunters in Japan. Even though I didn't ask anything more, he kept continuing on excitedly, all by himself. As I sorted the thin film of my pottage with my spoon, I shrugged my shoulders and sighed sigh. Looks like researching about the message bottle was really a waste of time. It really was a waste of time. No, if there's one thing I found, it's that the notebook supposedly written by Maria and Ange was actually written by a different person, faking her name. And that person wrote up an occult legend of their own, put it in the bottle, and as though it was the truth, and threw it into the sea. I have a question. It could have been Kire and Natsu as well. Why would they go to all the trouble of writing so much in order to prepare a suspicious letter like that? With a message bottle, there's no guarantee that it ever passes into anyone's hands. If their luck had been bad, it could have sunk into the ocean, never seen by anyone. And if someone had picked it up, they might not have cared about it and thrown it away. Why would they entrust their confession of the truth to the sea with such an uncertain method? And why would they write up multiple different tales? There have been one message bottle claiming that its story was the truth. Might be reckless but not impossible. However, because there were two, that made both of them doubtful. Someone was plotting to make out those 2 days to be the work of a witch, then they really did go one step too far. Because there were two, it suggested an undiscovered third one, or possibly more might exist. In other words, the two different contents makes both of them harder to swallow. But despite that, the contents of both matched in that they told of a witch in a tale. So, is that the main point what the writer wanted to get across to us? It seemed to me the only possible explanation is that someone wanted to give a rise to an illusion of a rich carried out this crime for their own enjoyment. However, the 17 people within the Altava lost their lives, and a vast wealth, or maybe even 10 tons of gold, had moved around secretly in the darkness. It doesn't feel right for a confession occurring after all that to bring up this illusion of the witch. Even if you ignore the magazine's theories, it's very doubtful that the message it bottle was a diary. After all, the amount of writing was massive. It's hard to imagine that someone actually caught up in the middle of a serial murder like that would be able to calmly write it down. Oh, was it prepared in advance? Oh my god! In that case, it's probably more realistic that this diary was written slowly over a long period of time, until the day prior to the accident. Was it prepared in advance? Oh my god. In that case, would it mean that everything in Rokkenjima was a planned crime, with everything prepared for over a long stretch of time? The fact that Altava left this world without saying anything is infuriating. She definitely said it on her deathbed. She definitely said that her reason for not telling me the truth was because it was her best way of harassing me. Yeah, by now it's painfully obvious. Of all things Altava did to harass me, this was probably the last and the greatest. But thinking of it this way, it is pretty doubtful that Altava is the true culprit. Of course, that's not because of the handwriting on the message bottle was different from Altava's or anything like that. It's because in both tales were discovered, Altava was included amongst the victims. If the writer of the diary was the culprit, maybe Altava was also one of the targets to be killed. Maybe Altava had survived because something had gone wrong. Because I hate Altava came to believe that she had to be the culprit. The existence of the message bottle makes me suspect that the mastermind is far more profound and unknown person than her. Is a far more profound and unknown person. So the letters were also prepared in advance. I fucking knew it. I looked at the clock. I've heard more than enough. It's time. As he continued to speak fervently, I suggested that I wanted to bring this discussion to a close. He seemed to be aware that he'd gotten excited and talked too much. So he quickly accepted this.
今日は本当にありがとうございました。貴重なお話が聞けたと思います。
いえいえ、ウィッチハントの新しい仲間に若いお嬢さんをお迎えできて本当に楽しかったです。
Sigh.
今日は歌詞を変えてしまったのでお見せできなかった貴重な資料がいくつもあります。次の機会の時にはぜひそれをお見せしましょう。
ありがとう先生。最後に聞いてもいいですか？
はい、何でしょうか。
先生はどうして魔女に、いえ、神秘学や悪魔学に興味を？
それを言われると恥ずかしい。不思議な力が使えたなら意地悪なガキ大将にも負けないのに、という子供の頃の妄想がそのままライフワークになってしまっただけです。未知なる力への憧れというプリミティブな願望は今も昔も普遍的ですからな。
先生はなれるものなら魔女になりたいですか？思うがままに魔法を使ってみたいという夢を今も？
もちろんですとも。この年になりそういうものが実在しないと理屈では分かっていても、それでもなお空を飛んでみたい、鉄くずを黄金に変えてみたいという子供のような夢は忘れられずにいます。
Nobody can, my man. Nobody can.
学生たちにはどうか内密に。
私が実は魔女だと言ったら、
Oh my god.
お信じになります？
女は魔女であるというのが私のささやかな女性経験からの持論です。
Okay. Angie snorted at the old professor. Must have been an earnest scholar with barely any experience with women.
そうそう。最後にもう一つだけ質問を。先生はメッセージボトルの実物をご覧になったことは？
ありますとも。
では、その筆跡についてもお詳しいですか？
もちろん。その道の専門家ではありませんが、メッセージボトルの筆跡に関してだけは日本で最も詳しいと自負していますとも。
At that point, Angie set up book on the desk with a thud. Oh my god.
これは初めて見るものです。
He prided himself on his thorough knowledge of all literature related to Rokkenjima, and he looked bewildered at this binding that he hadn't seen before. Ignoring him, Angie silently flipped through the pages, opened one of them, and showed him. On that page was a handwritten paragraph beginning, "To my beloved Witch Apprentice." At the end, there was a signature in katakana that said Beatrice. Ooh.
それは。
The instant he glanced at it, his face went pale. She knew the answer before asking, and then she asked it aloud anyway. Oh my god, so it was Beatrice that had written the letter. Or the bottles. Oh my god. So then it was Shannon.
このページに記されている文章の筆跡はメッセージボトルの筆跡と一致しますか？
いや、持ち帰って詳しく調べないことには。失礼だが、この本は一体どこで？
The man stretched out his hand, but Angie pulled it back, as though telling him not to touch it with his filthy hands.
ありがとう。その反応だけで結構です。今日はありがとうございました。これ、お約
Oh
束
my
の謝礼
god,
です。
Angie, you're so good! As she stood up, clutching Maria's diary, Angie carelessly tossed a wad of 10,000 yen notes wrapped in with a strip of paper onto the table. As Angie turned her back to him and made to leave, the man raised his voice as though clinging to her, but Angie didn't stop walking.
お願いだ。その本は一体。謝礼はいらない。その本を見せてくれ。
Oh my
私とあなたは
god.
ウィッチハントの同志だけど、求める深さが違うみたい。あなたが楽しんでるのは猫箱の外側、そして私が知りたいのは猫箱の内側。そしてこの一冊はその猫箱を開く鍵ね。あなたには過ぎてるわ。じゃあね。グッバイジェントルメン。Have a nice day.
Oh my god.
待ってくれ。スマデラさん。
It's not Sumadera. What? It's a Shuramiya. Fuck you. His voice didn't reach her. She had already joined up with Mamaksa and gone into the car. Oh my god. Angie, you're so badass.
収穫はありましたか？
最後の最後にね。やっぱりそうだった。メッセージボトルを記したのは ベアト
So
リ
it
ーチ
was
本人だった。
Shannon. Oh man.
そいつはクールだ。
So she maybe written letters that Maria delivers in advance as well.
魔女は実在するで決着で。
さあね。寝ていい？あのおしゃべり教授。きっと講義では自分の世界に入っちゃって寝ちゃう子続出だと思うわ。
どうぞどうぞお休みを。
しかしうまくいくもんね、あいつ。私のことスマデラだと最後まで信じてたわ。
Oh, so it was a lie. The Sumadera family had set up a web beforehand around any people Angie might try to contact. They have offered a reward to anyone who could take Maria and Ange into custody if she appeared. And she had foreseen that and had snatched it away. She had called herself Sumadera, and after cleverly tricking the men by saying her own subordinates would set up an ambush, so he didn't need to worry about it. She had taken him outside. So when the Sumadera family pursuers reached the professor's house, there was no longer anyone there.
家人の話では午前中にスマデラを名乗る若い男女が訪れ教授を連れ出したきりまだ帰宅しないそうです。裏をかかれた可能性が。
いけない子ね、エンジェちゃんは。そういう悪知恵姉さんの血なのかしらね。あんなに名乗るのは嫌だと言ってたスマデラの名を気安く名乗ってくれちゃうなんて。
Yeah, definitely
そのう
Yakuza.
ち教授もお戻りになるだろうさ。そしたらソチャでも振る舞わないとね。
は了解しました。
私を手玉に取ったつもりかしら。
Oh my god, now I feel sorry for the guy.
やんちゃな子なんだから。
Oh my god. She really is unlikable. The demonic look on her face, Kasumi violently stamped her heel. Ooh, man. I'll teach you about my magic of origins. No, I taught you before, right? And you'd used it before. Did you forget? You were also a Witch Apprentice, Angie. With your name entered into marriage sorcier, weren't you? Weren't you?
私も魔女に加えてもらったんだっけ。
I closed Maria's diary and flopped down on a very high-class looking bed. Oh my god, the timelines are blending and it's so good. I'd slept deeply for a long time in the car, so it took longer than usual for drowsiness to set in. I read the diary as I waited. It was a super expensive hotel in the city. It was often used by the rich and the famous. They were very big on confidentiality. That made it very convenient for Angie to escape her pursuers. The idea that renegades should spend their nights hiding in cheap hotels is a commoner's way of thinking. To Angie, who possessed all the wealth of the Ushimiya family, renegade life was comfortable indeed. Of course, even though he was a guard, Amaxa was a man and therefore in a separate room. Angie used the bedroom with the suite, and Amaxa laid on the sofa in the living room. According to Amaxa, the sofas here were more pleasant than his own beds had been recently. Poor guy. When I looked at the clock, I saw that it was almost 2 in the middle of the night. I'm still not getting sleepy. I sighed deeply. At that time, even though there was no wind, I had the feeling that Maria and Ange's diary fluttered. The Anonation appeared. Her form was no longer the normal one I'd known. She was wearing the dress that Beatrice had given her after acknowledging her as a witch.
もう寝ないと明日が辛いよ。
私も魔女なら魔法が使えるのよね。
うん、使えるよ。教えてあげたでしょ、使い方。昔は使えたはずだよ。
覚えてる。使いたくなった。
寂しくなった？
別に毎日枕が違うくらいのことで辛くなんてならないわ。
魔法の最初の一歩は寂しいからとか退屈だからとか、そのくらいのささやかな理由でいいの。
眠くなるまでの暇つぶしだとしても。
うん、エンジがもう一度魔法のことを思い出してくれてマリアは嬉しい。
It's been quite a long time since I last used magic. At one point with Maria and Ange's introduction, I touched the corner of it and opened the door a tiny bit, so I should still remember that sensation.
今のエンジェはかなり魔法の力が衰えてる。基本に忠実じゃないと難しいよ。
うん。四方を確認、静かな空間を確保。
天草さんは？
寝てるわ。
After opening the door in the living room, a crack, I could see the blanket caterpillar on the floor, on the sofa roll, over in its sleep.
今のエンジェの弱い魔力では半魔法力の影響を受けすぎる。人の姿だけじゃない。声も音も気配さえもエンジェの魔法の邪魔をする。それらを完璧に立って古代魔術師たちがアトリエを閉ざして孤独を守ったように。
覚えてるわ。人間の存在自体が魔法を妨げる。故に人に魔法を見せるということそのものがとても高位な魔女の証だったわね。
Obtain a quiet space for yourself alone. That should be enough to prepare a space to use magic.
次によりしろ。今のエンジェには自転車の補助輪、いえチェーンくらい大事。
これは当然無理よね。
Angie rubbed her own head. She wore hair accessories there, with pink gems attached. They felt a little childish for Angie, but she never took them off, not even for a single day.
今のエンジェにはとても無理。あの日から一日も休むことなく修行していたなら、あるいは今頃は呼び出すことができたかもしれないね。
今から修行したらどのくらいかかるの？
魔女の修行は幼き日の1年が老いの10年と同じ価値があると言われてる。相当の覚悟がいるよ。
それこそ後ろ宮金蔵くらいに？ピアノもバイオリンも魔法も幼い頃からの英才教育が大事なのね。
今のエンジェは初めて魔法を使えた時よりもその力が落ちている。無理をしないで基本に忠実に。
After stubbornly rubbing those things on my head one more time, I gave up and I started fishing through the knapsack, looking for anything that might make a good vessel.
これならよりしろにはぴったりじゃない？
懐かしい。それならば今のエンジェでも召喚できると思うよ。それには今主がいない。エンジェが新しい主になるのも可能なはず。
They are new, master. Amongst the things that look like good vessels, I took the one I thought might possess the strongest magical power, and set it on the side of the table near the bed with a clatter. It was a shady-looking, stake-shaped weapon with an occult design inscribed on it. Oh my god! It was one of the 7 stakes of purgatory, which the witch used to offer sacrifices. How did you get this? They were embedded on your family. The police have been searching for the family's possession. They have collected a large amount of junk. After the investigation had finished, these have been politely returned to the Shurmia family. Finding something I'd seen in the pictures of Maria's diary, I took them home with me. So they were not used. They were not used.
煉獄の七杭はもともと7本で一揃いだった。気の毒にね。今はもう彼女1本だけ。
One ancient smile, looking lonely. Oh no, is it Lucifer? I pulled on the book out of the knapsack. This was also old-fashioned, and you could tell that it was an occult book just by looking. But its contents were plain. It was one of Maria and Ange's elaborate notebooks. This wasn't a diary. This was a grimoire she had written as a witch. 7 stakes of purgatory at Beatrice's furniture, created by her and employed only for her sake. Since Beatrice is also a witch of marriage sorcière, they could be employed by a Maria, a witch of the same alliance. For that reason, I thought of summoning the 7 stakes of purgatory and how to handle them was written about in great detail in Maria and Ange's grimoire. And as another person with the name registered in that alliance, I was also permitted to employ them.
この杭は7姉妹の誰？
マリアの魔導書に彼女らの特徴がよく記されてるよ。七杭の姉妹は名前を間違えられることをとても嫌う。召喚する前によく彼女らの名前を思い出して。
Pack page told of the 7 stakes of purgatory. Described the 7 sisters in great detail. Yes, I think I memorized almost this entire page once in the past. The more I read it, the more I started to remember. By the pictures and characteristics written on the grimoire, I could tell that the stake in my hand was Mammon's stake. Mammon? The past I hadn't... Is that the witch of... Gluttony? The past I hadn't had any stakes, so I summoned them without any vessel. No, it's not the Witch of Gluttony. Is it? No, Witch of Gluttony was Beelzebub, wasn't it? So this was the first time I had clearly seen any of the 7 stakes, let alone Mammon.
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 五女。7つの大罪の強欲を
Oh, it's
司る。
greed. It's greed.
すごい子よね。
強欲は向上心、上昇志向、生きる強さなども司る。
That's a bit on the nose for
決して悪い意味だけでは
for
ないんだ
Angie,
よ。
right?
口は悪いけど、とても頑張り屋さんな子だし。
そうね。欲がないってことは、つまり生きてる理由がないってことだし。
So that's a perfect. So that's very on the nose for Angie. Greed, huh? For a while, I hid my consultation and digested the information that was written about Mammon. The more the summoner knows about the target that's being summoned, the better. Knowledge is connected to magical power. I began to fill my head with knowledge about Mammon, raising a necessary amount of magical power for summoning.
魔導書ってちょっとだけ面白いわね。下手くそな小説を読むよりよっぽど面白いかもしれない。なんだか懐かしい気持ちになるわ。
魔導書はただ文字を読み取るだけじゃなく、行間から世界を膨らませたり、挿絵から世界を生み出したりと、様々な想像を要求されるの。生み出す力。これを持つエンジェになら、どんな本よりも魔導書は面白いはずだよ。エンジェになら理解できるってマリアはずっと知ってたもの。
マモンの知識、これで十分だと思うわ。うん。だいたい蘇った。やってみる。
しっかりね。いざという時に備えて私の護符を。今の君は同盟の条約に守られてない。マモンは少し喧嘩っ早いところがある子。あるいはまだ恨んでるかも。
She still may bear a
注意して。
grudge.
うん。身につけることにする。
7 stakes of purgatory, as furniture used to make sacrifices for a ceremony, were treated as beings inferior even to weapons. That was only when compared to other demons. To humans, furniture is something to be feared. I fished through the knapsack again, took out a bracelet charm with a scorpion medal that I gotten from Maria and Ange long ago and put it on my arm. In the past, I hadn't needed something like this. I had needed insurance.
大丈夫。それにはまだ十分な魔法防御が備わってる。それを身につけている限り絶対に大丈夫。
Maria and Ange's magic power, which had been specially put in this charm, had been enough to earn even Beatrice's admiration. I made it look like something cheap to a human who couldn't understand magic. Its magical worth was incalculable.
さあさあ、おいでなさい。罪を許しなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ。強欲のマモン。
Ooh. I focused my mind. I made the magic repellent toxin that filled my body to 0. Man, the music. Imagine an untainted vast face. The music is so hype. Doubts and common sense all resist magic. Make the resistance 0 and erase the burden of the magical power. Inside my head was the image of a vast space. It was a nighttime world where I floated in the air and the neon stars over the ground sparkled. A world, oh my god, a world where the stars that should have been covered the sky were wiped away by the light from below that covered the ground. The world of a vast night sky with no obstructions. I imagined the wind blowing through at will. that time, in a room where there shouldn't have been any wind, the free nighttime wind kicked up a cyclone. A long-forgotten sensation raced through my entire body. It was the unique feeling of exultation that comes from using magic. Mammon's stake, which I held out in my hand, gradually began to make me feel a pale light. A twisting cyclone with the stake at the center. The hefty stake floated a bit into the air.
見事だよ。ブランクは君から才能を奪わなかったね。
さあさあ、おいでなさい。罪を許しなさい。煉獄の七悔の一つ、強欲のマモン、その姿を私に見せなさい。
After I raised my hands bit by bit, lifting them higher than my head, as though it was being attracted upwards, Mammon's stake once again floated up high into the air and gradually began to shake. The shaking began to grow faster, and then it burst. Oh my god. With speed faster than the eyes could follow, it flew around, violently rebounding off the walls of the room. The terrible sound of it dancing around threatened to make me flinch. However, I must not lose my mental concentration. Oh my god. Then the stake, which had been flying around at incredible speed, finally stopped and faced me. It was in the air just a few centimeters away from my forehead and held back by the defensive barrier created by the scorpion charm. Oh my god. I tried to break the defensive barrier, eating into it with an incredible power, but Maria and Ange's barrier wouldn't be broken so easily. The stake muttered hatefully. Oh my god. It's probably safe to say that the scorpion charm saved me. While that my attempt at killing time until I got sleepy would have killed my time for all eternity. When Mammon's stake realized that it wasn't able to gouge me, it gave up and grew docile, changing its form to that of a stake into a human. So this is okay, so this is Mammon. That same old outfit that I haven't been able to walk around outside in. Though you could say it suited her in a demonic sort of way.
エンジ様なの？ずいぶんとみすぼらしい魔力だけど。
Oh my god.
お久しぶりね、マモン。元気にしてた？
Oh my god, do they know each other?
てっきり、もう約5面の家具は何度で朽ち果てるだけだと思ってました。それで、これはどういう余興で？まさか、私の所有者がエンジ様とでもおっしゃるつもりで？
うん。エンジが君の主人だよ。
マリア教。これはお見苦しいところ。先ほどの結界はマリア教の。
今のエンジじゃひょっとしたら君にやられてしまうかもしれないって思ったから護符を貸したの。
マリア教に私の主人がエンジ様だと言われたんじゃ断りようもありません。エンジ様、何なりとご命令を。
Oh my god, the voice. Oh my god, the voice of irritation.
私が必要とされるということは、新しい儀式を、新しい生贄を。
What? Oh my god, what is happening?
もっとも、私を使いこなし、自らの手を汚す程度の覚悟が終わりならの話ですが。
その役割は、私はもう求めてないわ。昔同様に、ただ話し相手になってくれるだけで十分よ。
Oh my god. Is there some history between the two of them? Oh my god.
ええ。それがお望みでしたら、家具は使われてこそ家具。お呼び出しいただいただけで光栄ですとも、エンジ様。
Mammon had a slightly complicated smile on her face. She accepted her new master because Maria had told her to. It looked like she hadn't got over her discontent at working for Ange with her frail magical power. Perhaps she had some other reason for hating Ange. For now it seemed that she couldn't disobey, even if she wasn't happy about it.
それで、私は何をすれば？
わからない。 適当に賑やかにしてくれればいいわ。昔みたいに。
お言葉ですが、多分エンジ様がおっしゃる賑やかさとは私たち姉妹の騒ぎのことだと思います。私一人では難しいかと。お忘れで。
そうだね。7姉妹はみんなが揃うと本当に賑やかだったもんね。でも今のエンジェの魔力じゃマモンを呼び出すのが精一杯だと思う。
I didn't realize that. Oh man, I didn't realize that fucking Angie had story with
他の6人の
one
悔
of
いも
the seven
紛失してる。
sisters.
恐れながらマリア卿、私の悔いを経由し7姉妹に語りかけ呼び出すことは不可能ではないかと。私を刺激されるのでしたら、その程度の力はエンジェ様にはお持ちいただきたいところですが。
Mammon grins. Perhaps she wanted me to summon the other sisters without a vessel. I see. Since she's unable to satisfy herself with being summoned alone, she's asking for the other sisters to be summoned as well. I get it. Greed. Yes, she was like this back then, wasn't she? Oh my god, are we gonna get backstory on this? To furniture, the times during which they are used are bliss. No matter how badly they are exploited, being used is furniture's joy. On the contrary, regardless of how nice you are to them, not being given a job is more painful than anything in their eyes. Mammon spoke in a challenging way, but she wanted me to summon the other sisters somehow and rescue them from the world of nothingness. If that's the case, all she's got to do is say so. These demon people can never just say what they mean.
エンジェ、無理しないで。マモンを呼び出せただけでリハビリには十分だよ。
あら、一人だけでリハビリになっちゃうの？どうせ暇つぶしよ。いいわ、マモン。乗りかかった船だわ。呼べるところまで呼んであげる。
本当に？さすがエンジェ様。さあさあ、早く早く。
Oh my god. Apparently, even though she'd asked, Mammon hadn't really expected Angie to do this. She hopped around, badgering Angie to summon the other sisters. Summoning Mammon alone consumed a considerable amount of physical and magical power. It'd probably be pretty tough to do 6 more. Oh my god. Are the 7 sisters going to follow Angie on her journey now? Oh my god. I'm awed by the magical power of those who can summon sisters like this at will with a snap of their fingers, and who therefore reach the level where they can be called witches.
マモン、エンジェに無理をさせないで。エンジェはまだ本調子じゃないから。
エンジェ様はみんなを召喚してくれるって言いました？
Actually, I only say call as many as I could. I guess that's greed for you.
無理しないで、エンジェ。もう今日は休んだ方がいい。君は十分疲れてるよ。
いいわよ。どうせ暇つぶし。ばったり寝込めるくらいに疲れさせてもらうわ。
This time there's no vessel. I'll have to strengthen the image for my knowledge of the grimoire and materialize them with just that. I held my hands out into the air, replaying in my head the sensation from when it summoned Mammon. I'm acquainted with all the 7 sisters, right? You are? I'm so confused. When? I gotta remember that long ago when I talked with them. Once again, the power of magic began to fill me up. It's when you were like a child before Rokkenjima happened, maybe. I let off a faint and yet distinct pale light from both of my hands. Do you remember
エンジ
things?
ェ様、しっかりしっかり頑張って。ねえマリア卿、エンジェ様は必ずみんなを呼び出してくださいますよね。また7姉妹は再会できますよね。ね。
うん、きっとね。でもそれが今夜という保証はないよ。
エンジェ様ならできますって。エンジェ様、お願い。末っ子のアスモから。
アスモデウス7条。わかった。末っ子から順番に呼ぶわ。
A strand of hot sweat dripped down from my forehead. This is really going to be a one hell of a burden to carry. Oh my god, the music is getting hype again. Pale light in the space began to slowly form the outline of a girl.
さあさあおいでなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ。色欲のアスモデウス。
There was no vessel. However, as I held strong conviction that she definitely did exist there as a core, her form began to crystallize. Her outline became distinct, and the form of the youngest of the seven sisters, Asmodeus, was finally created.
色欲のアスモデウス。ここに。ここはどこ？私は生きてるの？アスモ！よかった。
Oh my god, what is happening?
お姉さん、ここは一体私を呼び出したのは誰なの？エンジ様が私たちをみんな蘇らせてくれるって。
Were you dead? No, I didn't.
エンジ様、ありがとう。次はベルゼをお願いします。
ベルゼブブ六女暴食のベルゼブブ。さあさあおいでなさい。
At this rate, I wonder how many I'll be able to summon. I can't focus. This is probably it. The pale light made an outline and formed into Beelzebub.
暴食のベルゼブブ、ここに。ベルゼー！エンジ様、すごい！
Oh my god, Mammon and Asmodeus jumped onto Beelzebub, celebrating their reunion. I'd summoned 3 people at once. My head was throbbing. Gotta summon the next one without stopping for a break.
さあさあおいでなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ。タイダのベルフェゴール。
Belphegor, my favorite one. Yes.
タイダのベルフェゴール。
Oh my god,
ここに。
I missed your voice. Oh my god.
なんと私がまだ必要とされるとは。
ベルフェネー！お腹すいた！じゃなくて、また会えて嬉しい！
Oh my god.
また七姉妹みんなが再会できるなんて。エンジ様、本当にありがとうございます。この調子で次はサタンネーオ、ベビアネーモ、ルシネーモ。
Oh my god, 3 left.
分かってるわ。だからお願い。あまりうるさくしないで。4人同時は結構きつい。
エンジ、もうそれ以上無理をしないで。これだけ久しぶりなのによく4人も召喚できたよ。
よせマモン、今のエンジェ様には我らの召喚は負担を強いている。エンジェ様、どうかご無理をなされませんよ。
私は嫌。
Oh my god.
エンジ様は約束したもん。また私たちみんなと遊んでくれるって。
No, I.
ねえ、エンジ様、みんなとまた会えるって。すぐに会えるって約束した。
そうね、約束したわ。すぐにがいつのこととは約束しなかったけど、確かに私は約束したわ。
だから守って。じゃないと私は今日までそれを忘れていたエンジェ様を許さない。
Oh my god. Oh my god, there's some history. There's some history there.
さあさあおいでなさい。
I need to know.
煉獄の七杭が一つ。憤怒のサタン。
My mind's getting hazy. What I'll call. Even though I'd forgotten about those days. Even though I've never thought at that time as anything but sad and lonely. Because the short time I spent with them was fun without a doubt. Oh, so this was after Rokkenjima.
憤怒のサタン、ここに。
何やってるのよあんたたち。私たちが井戸端会議をするだけでどれだけエンジェ様に負担をかけてるか分かってんの？
Satan, who apparently figured out the situation immediately after being summoned, cried out in a loud voice, telling her sisters off. That loud voice made my consciousness hazy again.
私たちはベアトリーチェ様より休むことを許された役目を終えたからなのよ。再びお役に立てる機会を賜るどころか新しい主人の負担になるなんて、そんなの覚悟直れ。早く姿を消しなさい。
うん、サタンネーの言う通りだ。姿を消す。お前たちも姿を消せ。それがこの瞬間、一番エンジェ様のお役に立てる。
Don't.
私は嫌よ。みんなを呼び出してもらえるまでは嫌。私も嫌。お腹すいた。じゃなくて、やっと再会したばかりなのに、もう帰るなんて嫌。
わがまま言ってんじゃないわよ。ほら、とっとと姿を消す。ほら、アスもさっさと消えなさい。
サタン姉さんがいじめた。いつも末っ子からなんてずるい。
実に賑やかね。退屈しない。
もう十分だよ。今のエンジェには限界を超えてる。
そうね。
Five of them summoned and messing around as they pleased. The load was far too heavy for me, the meager magical power I had in the moment. This is it. As my consciousness went hazy, I fell over onto the bed. Oh. Have beds always felt this soft? It seems that the sisters were still squabbling together as much as they liked. For a way to kill time until drowsiness comes to get me. This is enough. Feeling something warm and nostalgic in the sisters' liveliness, I sank into the world of deep sleep. At the entrance of my dream world, I felt Maria and Ange and Sakutaro waiting to receive me.
お疲れ様。そして頑張ったね。
Oh man. Oh, Sakutaro.
おかえり、エンジェ。
Also, Angie can see Sakutaro. Welcome back, huh? Then I should respond like this. I'm home. That's right. Just once in the past, I underwent training in order to step into the world of witches. Except that the only power that could save me from those sad, painful days at St. Lucia Academy is a thing called magic. And I received Maria's introduction to the basics. Oh. I'm passing the... I think I'm passing the... I think I'm passing the chapter. I'm not... Oh man. Okay, characters. So... Oh man. Oh man. So Maria is rising again after so long. She's finally tying in with Battler once again. Angie is also rising fast. She's one of my favorite characters right now as well. Kasumi, you're in C rank. I know what your role in the story is, but I don't like you. This guy, I think he's a one-time thing, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. But still, he's forgettable. I think it's C rank. Juza, B rank. He fits the trope too well and doesn't break out of it. So, no. Okonogi, you're in B rank as well. Now the sisters. Mammon, I think... Okay, let's rate the sisters based on who I like the most. Belphegor, first place. Mammon, second place. Lucifer, third place. Leviathan, fourth place. Satan... fifth place, and then these two are interchangeable. I think they are good, but some of them are better. I think as an overall, they are in B rank as characters, but there are Belphegor and Lucifer are maybe Mammon. If there's some backstory with Ange, there's some history there. I think all three of them are the better ones and can breach A rank. What else? Rosa, S rank. Oh man, you are a terrible human being. Oh man. I think this is it. Sakutaro. Oh, Sakutaro. I need to rank Sakutaro. He appears now as a sprite, so beloved furniture of Lady Maria, Witch of Maria Sorcerer. His existence is Lady Maria's pure white heart itself. He's an irreplaceable being to her, and could even be said to be another Lady Maria. He holds the decoration as a diplomat, and all witches, weapons, and furniture in the Alliance, and even demons and divine spirits in contracts with the Alliance, are not permitted to take aim at him. Oh man, wow, okay. The Witch of Origins will live for the next 1,000 years. Possesses the motherly magical power to give birth to one from the Sea of Zero. At a glance, her magical power is weak. However, Zero will never become anything but Zero, no matter how it is multiplied. The one she gave birth to will eventually surpass the heavens. Protected heavily by Beatrice, who understands her true value. She's in an alliance with Beatrice. Oh man. So Sakutaro, I think I get what his character is all about. And he's the heartwarming character that will intervene when things get bad. I think he'll save people from depression, basically. So for his role, and for what I perceive his role to be in the future, I'll give him a cursory bottom of A rank. Ah man, I need to make a tier list when all this is over. I think when episode 4 is over, I'll release a tier list of the characters, because I think that the question arcs will be over by then. So, and then yes, the answer arcs will begin, and I'll release a tier list before then. Thanks for watching.